Okay, so this will be a short little live stream. For those of you who would like to know, hey, what is the trick on getting a F-22 Raptor? How do you unlock it? Well, it's a bit confusing at first. First of all, you have to finish Ace difficulty. First, the hard difficulty, then the Ace difficulty. When you finish the Ace difficulty, you will be given a A-10 jet fighter. Now, once you finish that, then you got to go back to the normal difficulty, and then from a normal difficulty, you have to play one of the missions with SU-30. You have to use SU-30, and you have to play either one of the missions. You can choose. I chose the mission 1, and when you finish that mission, then you are given F-22 Raptor. But I still am kind of disappointed that they made it so confusing. There's the SU-30, that's the F-16, but it's kind of confusing the way they did it. And because it's not like you know exactly which way you're supposed to play to unlock it. So remember, you have to do first hard difficulty, finish all 3 missions. Then you do the Ace difficulty, finish all 3 missions. You will be given A-10 bomber jet fighter, and then you have to go back to normal, take SU-30 jet fighter, and play the first mission and finish it. And once you finish it, then you get the F-22 Raptor. It's right over here. You can see it a little bit better. Here I am sitting on the top. So, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do some. I'll do a mission 3. I'm gonna jump into a mission 3, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it. There's another thing I've noticed. For those of you who have Belkin ultra high-speed cable, I have noticed when I unplugged my original standard 2.0 high-speed cable. I don't even know if it's a 2.0, honestly. Once I got rid of that HDMI cable and I plugged in my Belkin 2.1 high-speed, ultra high-speed cable, once I connected it through my HDMI out to PlayStation 4 in on my VR console. So from my VR console onto the PlayStation 4 Pro, I have noticed that I'm getting a little bit sharper imagery. It's just me. So I might do a video on that. I might show you how to do it and whatnot. But anyway, let's just jump into this really quick. Let's do one mission. I'm just going to show you the aircraft so you can see a little bit better. There it is. There's right there. It looks like diamond shape. It's what it does. And it does reference a little bit of how would I put it? That like hat, UFO hat resemblance. If you look at it from afar, it does have that little bit of a UFO resemblance hidden in it, especially on this circle right here. Okay, so anyway, let me jump in. Let's fly this thing. Okay, so I'm going to go with the F-22. And I'm going to choose QWAM missiles. Click OK. We'll do mission 3. Okay, this is the F-22, and it's really more modernized. It looks just better.
All aircraft, maintain formation. Rapier 5, block the transport and demand that they follow orders.
Be careful, Rapier 5.
You can switch between the panels on the radar and the instruments. It's kind of cool.
Mission objective sighted.
Continue approach.
You think they'll just accept our orders? Impossible.
I want to see how well this plane is in maneuvering. Let's see.
Sky Eye, this is Rapier 5. No one's in the cockpit.
It's unmanned.
Missile alert! In the clouds! I can't! What's the bandit? A decoy?
Mission change. Take down all enemy bandits.
We're gonna take them all.
Locked on enemy.
Bandit behind you! We need to take them down, one at a time. Escaping line, breaking!
Enemy has a lock.
Oh, that was fast.
Missile fires, evasive action. Locked on.
Mobius 1, enemy Korean trees. Don't scratch or paint with the rocks below.
Enemy behind you.
I really don't like this fisheye that they have on PlayStation VR on the live stream 720p. I'm gonna have to connect this to my AverMedia capture card and upscale it to 4K or 1080p 60 or something to remove this fisheye and give it a little better bit rating. Because right now things look a bit blurry on your end when you're watching this.
Escaping radar lock.
The intel on the WMD was a lie?
Oh yeah, man, this F-22 is just it's a beast. It's like second nature, dude. Everything's so easy. This is like a piece of cake, bro. It's like no problem. We got this.
Missile fired.
Oh yeah, this is easy, dude. Easy peasy.
Mobius 1, locked on.
Missile incoming.
They've got eyes everywhere. Watch your 6. Enemy has a lock.
Ammunition material.
Bandit behind you.
Missile
Got
hit
it.
confirmed. Half of the ambushing bandits down.
Incoming.
The enemy squadron's behavior change.
I've got this.
Follow Mobius 1.
Missile.
Mark 2.
Missile.
We engaged too soon. Attack missed. Enemy on your 6. Breaking. Enemy missile launching. Hostile has a lock. Breaking. Let's back off when I can't see us.
Oh yeah.
Sector 6.
Missile.
Get out of there.
When you have a sophisticated jet fighter like this, it's like a joke, bro. All the other missiles are like a joke. You going Mach 7, Mach 6 speed. It's like ridiculous.
Right now.
Oh,
Rapier 5, watch out.
History.
Missile incoming.
Ammunition
We've still got
material.
them outnumbered.
Missile.
Watch out. Bandit on your 6.
Fox
Got
2.
him.
Missile.
Oh, he's done, dude.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
We've lost Rapier 5.
Come on.
Missile. Missile.
Enemies on radar, a lot of them.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
You've got one behind you. Bandit locked on.
Missile. Missile.
Target's down. Make sure to fight 211.
Missile.
The base and missile.
Missile.
Got away. I'm going after him.
Missile.
One of the guys was shot down.
You just get better maneuvering though when you have this F-22.
Shot down. Just movers. Don't take them seriously. Can't shake them.
Missile.
Enemy at the lock. Evasive maneuvers.
Missile.
I can't take him.
Missile.
One. Enemy launched a missile.
Missile.
Attack missed.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
A bandit has a
Alright,
lock
here
on
we
you.
go.
Yeah, but these guys are not on
Missile.
We're working together to take them down.
Oh yeah, easy peasy.
Locked on enemy.
Next one in line.
Ammunition 0.
Bandit locked on.
Fox 2.
They fired a missile. Take evasive action.
Missile.
They can't beat us. Not here. Watch it down.
History.
Silence is different.
Missile.
It has a lock on you.
Missile.
Not sure I'm gonna make it.
Missile.
Enemy evaded.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Mobius 1. The enemy launched a missile.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Come on.
Missile.
This one.
Missile. 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 Missile.
Bandit locked on.
Bandit sighted. I can't take off this lock.
Stall warning.
Here we go.
Down.
Missile hit.
Done.
Missile.
Mobius 1. Missile
Missile.
inbound.
Missile.
That was close.
Missile. Missile.
I can't take off this lock.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Watch
Missile.
it down.
Missile. Missile.
Get out of there.
Missile. Missile.
Come on, come on, come on.
Missile. Missile.
Look how fast I can get to him though. That's cool.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
This is Viper 2. I
Missile.
can't fight.
Missile.
Alright.
Missile.
The base and missile.
Watch out. Bandit on your six.
Missile. Missile.
Got him.
Just took one down. Nice kill.
Missile. Missile.
Woo.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Get out of there.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
From where? Where's the
Missile.
missile coming from? I don't even see
Missile.
it. Is there somebody on my tail?
Missile. Missile.
Oh, I see.
Missile.
Mobius 1. The enemy
Missile.
launched a missile.
Missile.
Right line with my eyes
They're all
closed.
ganging up on me now because of the F-22.
Surround the Grim Reaper.
Bandit
Missile.
locked on.
Missile. Missile.
Bandit behind you.
Missile.
Ribbon fighter.
Target hit.
I can't shake him.
Missile.
Evade that missile.
Missile.
Mobius 1. The enemy fired a missile.
Missile.
Fighter. Someone from the Continental Force.
Missile.
I don't think he made it
Missile.
out. Did anybody hear him
Missile.
at the end? No.
Ammunition
I think he's
0.
trying to tell us something. Taking out of enemy lock. Missile in the air.
Come on, come on.
Target undamaged.
Missile.
Enemy on your tail.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Mobius 1. You've been spiked.
Missile.
One radar lock. Missile incoming.
Here we go.
Mobius 1. Locked on.
Missile.
Got him.
Down.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
Enemy behind you.
Missile.
Take charge.
Missile.
Mobius 1, missile fired.
Getting out of line. Breaking.
Missile.
Fox 2.
Missile.
On to
Missile.
6.
Missile.
Enemy got away. I'm going after him.
Missile. Missile.
Missile incoming.
Enemy locked on. Shake them off.
Missile.
Enemy on your tail.
Missile.
Enemy got away. I'm going after him.
Missile.
Missile cruising. Evade.
Missile.
5 minutes remaining.
Missile.
They turned the tables on us. It looks like we might have
There's 2 more.
underestimated them.
Missile.
A bandit has a lock on you.
Missile.
Fox 2.
Missile. Missile.
Enemy got away. I'm going after him.
Missile.
Behind you. Check your six.
Missile.
Bandit on your 6.
Missile.
Missile hit.
Missile.
3 targets remaining.
Missile.
Mobius 1. The enemy launched a missile.
Okay, he got hit. Got 1 more, 2 more.
Missile.
Locked on enemy.
Missile.
Fox 2.
Missile.
Enemy got away. I'm going after him.
Missile.
Enemy locked on. Shake them off.
Okay, that guy's almost done.
On radar lock. Bandit
Missile.
on your 6.
Missile.
Mobius 1. Bandit locked
Missile.
on.
Missile.
Enemy missile! Enemy got away. I'm going after him. Breaking out of enemy lock.
Look how quickly I can just catch up to them, dude. Even in a circle. Even like right here.
Behind you. Take charge.
It's crazy.
A bandit has a lock on you.
And these are the SU-35s.
Missile.
And they're having a difficult time just to keep up with me.
Locked on enemy.
Missile.
Fox 2.
Missile.
Charge that missile.
Missile.
Enemy behind you. Take charge. Enemy got away. I'm going after
Got him. There's
2
1 more
targets
left.
left.
Oh, 2 more. I'm gonna get this one.
him. Escaping lock. Breaking. Evade that missile.
3 minutes remaining.
Missile.
Enemy has a lock.
Missile.
Fox 2.
Missile.
Bandit behind you.
Enemy got away. I'm going after him.
Come on, come on.
Bandit on your 6.
Call warning.
Let's play a little game right here.
Missile inbound.
Hide and seek.
1 target left. Finish him off.
Let's get him.
Escaping lock.
Oh, that should be easy. Done. That's F-22 for you, man. The Raptor. That's why they call him
Bandit is
the
down.
Beast.
We're not picking up any more on radar.
This guy's the real deal.
Nice work. Warning. Spotted a glimmer above.
But I'm, damaged a
eye out
little
for
bit. You
threats.
see that warning light? I do have a little bit of a
Stay
damage.
sharp. Viper has good eyes.
I can't see.
Mobius 1, above. Spotted. 4 fighters in formation.
Missile. Missile.
Stealth. You're cleared hot.
Missile.
Nah, I'm got hit. Hey, how you doing, Eric and White?
No! Mobius 1's been shot down.
Samsung Odyssey VR? Well, Samsung Odyssey VR, it's better in terms of resolution. So Odyssey will give you a much better resolution on the pixel per eye. This is, lower resolution. And the Samsung Galaxy VR, it's as close to resolution that HTC Vive Pro has. So yeah, Samsung Galaxy VR. But I'm just not a fan of Windows Media mixed reality. I still believe the best tracking it's on the HTC Vive. HTC Vive has the best tracking. I would say the next best to HTC Vive tracking, I would say it's a total of 3 Oculus Rift trackers. So I would say if you're gonna get into the PC virtual reality, go with the either HTC Vive, HTC Vive Pro, or Oculus Rift. But honestly, Oculus Rift, it's like an excellent entry level, because the Oculus Rift, you get a really good motion movement, that's 6-degree separation, so you can move around up and down, left and right, you can go down. So it's like there's many different things you can do in the Oculus Rift that you can't do on, let's say, PlayStation VR or Windows Mixed Reality, you know, because it's still a Windows Mixed Reality headset, and the tracking is just not that good. I have Dell Visor. I have Windows Mixed Reality by Dell Visor. They call it Dell. It's made by Dell, but it's Windows Mixed Reality with Dell Visor. It's just not that good. It's like a binoculars. It's like you're watching through binoculars. So far, the two VR headsets that I would recommend for a PC, it's HTC Vive or Oculus Rift. But I think Oculus Rift you will enjoy better, because Oculus Rift doesn't feel heavy on your head. Oculus Rift, it has that light feel to it. It feels very light when you put it on your head, and it has these two little what you call them, headsets that come out. It's like a headphones, and you slide them down and you can listen to, and it has a built-into microphone. To me, Oculus Rift, it just, and the touch controllers, yeah, dude, Oculus Rift, dude, the price is right. Get yourself a 3 tracking sensors. Oculus Rift has tons of exclusive Oculus Rift games on top of the Steam VR. So you are getting Oculus Rift exclusives, meaning you can only play the Oculus Rift. On top of the tons of Oculus Rift exclusives and programs and games, you're also getting the entire library of Steam VR. So I'd say Oculus Rift. Yeah, dude, you know what, man? Oculus Rift, the price is right. Everything's right. You know, if you have a good PC, I would say if you have 1070 graphics card, or you don't have to have 1080, but preferably 1080, but 1070 will get the job done with even with the 8 gigabytes. I would say have it 16, just so you can be, you know, on the safe side. 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. But yeah, Oculus Rift, man. It's only how much is it? $350. PlayStation VR, it's good for the console. You know, PlayStation VR has some cool accolades. Like, you know, there's some exclusive games like this one you can play in VR. They have that other game with the aim controller called, what was it? Firewall Zero Hour. They have that. They have Gran Turismo Sport. So there's a bunch of different other cool games that you can play on PlayStation VR. It's good for a console, but you have to remember the resolution buys. If you care about much smoother VR experience, where you can move around up and down, left and right, where you can kneel down, you can crawl down, you can move up. If you want that smooth experience, I say Oculus Rift. You know, that's just my opinion. But if you want the best of the best, like if you're somebody who doesn't care about the money, whatever, and you want to have the best experience, HTC Vive Pro, if you have an extra room, HTC Vive Pro, it's like as good as it gets. Currently, right now, it's the best there is. If you want the best VR experience, HTC Vive Pro. Like, there's no two ways about that. You know, there's only HTC Vive Pro if you want the best experience. Hopefully this helps. Skyrim works well on PC, yes, but on PlayStation VR, I would avoid it. It just looks but ugly on PlayStation VR. On the PC, on the HTC Vive Pro and the Oculus Rift definitely looks best, you know. But if you truly want to appreciate Skyrim, you gotta go with the HTC Vive Pro. HTC Vive Pro is gonna. If you guys have tried, if you do yourself a favor, if your friend has DCS F-18, F-18 Sea Hornet, DCS PC simulator F-18, this is the most realistic F-18 game. Even the real Air Force, U.S. Navy, Air Force pilots are using that game, and they're saying how realistic it is. Everything's so real, except you can't feel the G's. You know, when you're pulling those G's and you get sucked into the cockpit chair, everything other than that, it just feels very accurate. If your friends have HTC Vive Pro and a good chair and a good flight stick controller, and you put on that HTC Vive Pro, I'm telling you, man, you will be like transported right into that F-18 as if you are flying it. It's ridiculous. I have done a bunch of videos on it, and I didn't use the HTC Vive Pro, but I used the HTC Vive. And HTC Vive is a bit brighter. You know, that's the one thing you will appreciate about the HTC Vive. It's a bit brighter, and when things are a bit brighter, then it looks more real. Like, you know, like, oh, whoa, am I really here? Like, look at that light blasting. Whoa. Like, you got that sensation that you're really there. But PlayStation VR, it's good for the console. You know, it's the first generation, so you can't expect much from it. If you never experienced VR, I say, yeah, PlayStation VR, it's a good start. But if you want to step up to the higher ladder, then you gotta go with Oculus Rift or HTC Vive.
Warning, spotted a glimmer above.
Keep an eye out for threats.
Nothing's on radar.
I mean, I got all of these VR headsets except HTC Vive Pro, and I can tell you that they're all pretty much identical, you know, in terms of the experience. But the difference is in the sharpness of detail and brightness. HTC Vive brings three things I have to mention about the HTC Vive Pro. I have to be fair, because it's true, and that's why it costs so much. HTC Vive Pro, what it does, it gives you a sharper detail, gives you much smoother speed, sense of speed, and it's brighter, and it's much brighter. So you feel like you're there. So when you have a much clearer resolution, when you have much brighter screen, and when you have that smooth motion and that 6 degree of separation where you can just, where you feel like you're really there, then you get transported. Not to mention that they have a pair of AKGs headphones built into it, so that also brings the experience even more compelling. But you are going to need a powerful PC to handle that. Okay.
We're in trouble if we lose them.
You're gonna need an RTX 2080 or 2070 i7 8th generation, 32 gigs of RAM, preferably if you have.
Enemy locked on.
But that's for hardcore. That's for like those hardcore VR guys. You gotta have that VR experience. Like, you don't care, dude. And it's not just video games. It's like everything's better. You know, whether you're watching a VR movie or some kind of VR experience out there, everything becomes more realistic.
Bandit has a lock on you.
Because your mind, you know, your eyes and your brain will detect when something is fake and when it's something it's real. But on HTC Vive Pro, you really have that sensation like, whoa, I'm really here. You know what I mean? And that's at least how I felt when I was playing it.
I've got this. Attacking.
Stealth fighters can't hide from your eye.
But then again, I could tell you all about it for 2 hours, for 3 hours, for 4 hours. To truly appreciate what VR is, you have to experience it. VR is something that you can't really
Target destroyed. Even ghosts go down
put
if you
into
blast them.
words, and it's something you gotta experience. So The only way I can convince you to try HTC Vive Pro is to try it. Like, you gotta try HTC Vive Pro just to see, like, what I'm talking
about. Visually. Use them in your country.
Oh, then you're gonna say, oh, I understand why he says, oh, it feels more brighter, so it feels more real, it feels more fluid, it feels more sharper in detail, because that's what you do see in real life. You see a sharper detail. But again, you know, HTC Vive Pro, it's expensive. You're gonna need an expensive, powerful computer, and also the HTC Vive Pro, it's expensive as well. So you're looking at $4,000, $5,000 just to start. Again, it's not for everyone, but that's if you really want to step up to like a hardcore VR experience. If you ever could decent PC that's like a semi-decent PC with 8 gigs of RAM and then, you know, 1070 or whatever, even 1060, go with the Oculus Rift, man. Just make sure you got at least 6 USB 3.0 ports. And I think the Oculus Rift is the safest bet. Seriously, guys, if you want to step into virtual reality, Oculus Rift is the safest bet. Oculus Rift is also working on a new VR headset that should be more immersive in terms of resolution, in terms of motion, fluidity, and in terms of feeling lightweight. I mean, HTC Vive still feels heavy. It's a heavy headset, it feels heavy on your head. Even PlayStation VR feels uncomfortable, feels heavy on your head. Oculus Rift, I think they got it. They figure out the way how to make it feel comfortable. And the VR, it's all about the comfort. If you're not feeling comfortable wearing that headset, then you know, it's not going to be a pleasant experience. You know what I mean? See, like right now, if I step out of my boundaries, that's it. Because I don't have, I'm limited to how many degrees I can move. On Oculus Rift, you know, you're not limited to how much you can move. On HTC Vive, you're not limited on how much you can move. That's a pretty big deal. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to close this stream short.
Stealth fighter splashed. 2 left.
I mean, it does feel like you're in the jet, you know. But again, you know, this is Ace Combat. This is not a real flight simulator. DCS, it's the real flight jet fighter simulator. If you want the commercial simulator, then go with the X-Plane. You've seen me do the X-Plane. You've seen me do DCS F-18 Hornet. I have those videos. I have them in 4K. I have 4K VR that I have upscaled, and you guys can check it out. And you'll see how realistic that is. There's another game by Heatblur, this company called the Heatblur. They're working on the F-14 Tomcat, and that one's going to be so realistic. It's going to be bananas crazy how realistic that's going to be. Ace Combat is like a Call of Duty in the air. That's what it is. Like, think of it, Call of Duty in the air. It's what it is. Yeah. It's fast-paced. It's arcadish. It's just fun. But that's as far as it goes. And I think that's what it was intended for. It wasn't intended for, you know, to be some realistic flight jet fighter simulator or sim.
Got the enemy in my sight.
But one cool aspect of the Ace Combat 7 is the multiplayer. The sad part is they don't have multiplayer on the VR, which kind of sucks, but they do have a multiplayer on off of VR, just on 2D. I mean 3D on the 2D screen. And I've been enjoying the multiplayer a lot, man. It's a very addictive multiplayer. There's a PC version coming out. PC version will have the 4K resolution with DirectX 12, so I think that's going to be something that you guys will appreciate on the PC. Plus the PC will have moddings on the Steam, so you'll be able to modify different things, different stuff. Next year we'll see some VR for
Missile hit.
Ace Combat 7. Alright guys, so I'm gonna have to end it here. There you have it. There's Ace Combat VR. There's the F-22. So far I unlocked only 4 planes. A-10, F-18, Sea Hornet, Su-30, and F-22. I don't know if there's F-16 or if F-35. If they have F-35, I'll definitely let you know if I ever unlock it. But that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll have some videos for you guys tomorrow. It's not going to be about video games. It's going to be about something about televisions tomorrow. Something that I need to check on the Apple TV 4K. I need to go back to the Apple TV 4K, talk about the HDR and Dolby Vision, stuff like that, on the settings and whatnot. So that's tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, have a good one, though. Hopefully you enjoy this, and take care.